a Redfoot tortoise on the left, the pyramided shell on the right, and she's a Yellowfoot tortoise. So the best way to tell a Yellowfoot from a Redfoot tortoise is, woo, there we go, Florida softshell.
All right, what is up? Today I am going to try and do this before it rains, but I want to start planting some additional plants around my aquascape pond. There's a few little nooks and crannies that need some kind of borderline edge kind of plants that can handle being in the water or right on the edge of the water. Got a few that I've grown myself and a couple that I bought. And so today I'm going to show you how I plant some plants around habitats like my aquascape pond. So let's check it out. Bucket and a scooper. So the bucket, we're going to put some of my plants. So here we are at the alligator snapping turtle pond, and in here I have this container, and in this container I've been growing some of this pickerel weed. I've got some lilies. This is some Amazon frogbit here, some parrot's feather. Oh, right here, this is watercress. So I've got a few of these plants that I've been growing for a while, and I'm ready to kind of move some of them around. So we'll go ahead and start grabbing some and plant some. First, oh gosh, first one I'm gonna grab is this little, I guess this is pickerel weed right here. All right, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in my bucket here. All right, I'm gonna grab another one of these pickerel weeds. I go all the way down to the base and I try and pull it away from the rest of the mass. There's a lot of roots in here. Make sure I get all the roots. There we go. See that root mass? Now these are gonna go down into the gravel. They're not too invasive. They're not gonna hurt the liner or the underlayment that I have over the liner, but they are gonna get down into that gravel and be able to kind of feed off the bottom. So this is gonna go in the wetland filter. All right, let's get one more. Let's pick a good one. Yeah, this guy here looks good. Nice clump. Try and get this guy out. Here we go. There we go, pull it all apart. And then this will give the other ones room to grow as well. So that the next time I need some plants, I can pull some of these out. Oh Lord, it's a big one. There we go. So this one has room to grow additional plants. You can see right there, it's got another stalk. So we'll add that. I think we'll leave that for now, and that gives those lilies room to grow as well. All right, so now we're gonna take this, we're gonna go over to the aquascape pond and look at some of my plants. Let's stick that in there. Personally, I feel like in any habitat like this, you can't have enough plants. It softens up the edges, gives things places to hide, especially if you end up with any hatchlings, or if you have other animals like frogs and amphibians that like to hide. It gives them a great place to hide, and it just makes it look more natural. Around this way. All right, so I have this little nook right here. There's kind of nothing going on here, so I want to put some plants in here. So first I'm going to kind of grab some of these leaves. You can see there's a bunch of snails and stuff in here, so this is also going to give those snails a good place to hide and reproduce. So I just want to do like a little bit of a clean out right here, and then we're going to find a good plant to go right there. And I'm thinking maybe that larger one, because it'll give it space to spread, or one the next size up. I'm thinking maybe this guy will do really well just right here. And we can kind of guide those roots down into the gravel here and here. And we want to make sure, stick this right there. All right, so to make sure that this is getting down into the gravel, I might even move some of these rocks to sit on top of the roots so that the roots are now a part of the gravel system. And then make sure that my position is right. Take my scooper And I'm gonna scoop it into a bucket of gravel. And I'll start pouring this gravel back in here to kind of backfill it. And here. And here. And the main thing I'm trying to do is just get those roots covered so that they can integrate with the bottom of the pond here and the gravel that occurs here. So for the most part, that's done.
All right, so yeah, that plant looks really good right there. I like that. I like the way it's kind of cleaning up that little corner right there. Plants are filling in good. Actually, here we go. This is actually really cool. So here we have a Redfoot tortoise. This is Bumpy on the left with the pyramided shell. And this is, I call her the lady on the right, and she's a Yellowfoot tortoise. Sometimes you'll see Redfoot tortoises for sale at reptile shows or in stores, and maybe the seller doesn't necessarily specialize in turtles and tortoises, and they'll sometimes get it wrong, especially because sometimes Redfoot tortoises can have, you know, like this guy has, he has a yellow head. And some populations of Redfoot tortoises even have a yellow head and yellow legs. So the best way to tell a Yellowfoot from a Redfoot tortoise is the scales right here on the top of the head. So if you look at this guy's head, you'll notice he has kind of a few different size scales. If you go over here to the Yellowfoot tortoises have those two big scales right over the nose. All Yellowfoots have those two big scales, and Redfoot tortoises do not have those two big scales. And that is the best way to know which one you're looking at. So if you're ever at a reptile show or you're at a pet store and somebody's telling you it's a Yellowfoot tortoise and you have a doubt in your mind, just look for those two scales right there over the nose.
Set my plant inside here, carry out my bucket of gravel. We'll go over here to this end. And I want to put a plant in here. I feel like this area right here is missing something. You know, I've got a little bit of plants here, but this is the intake bay, so the water is actually going down through the gravel right here, but I feel like in here needs some kind of plant. So I'm gonna actually pull back some of this leaf muck and we're gonna set a plant right in here. See all that stuff, even though it looks kind of gross, that's really good. That's gonna be like what feeds the plant. Even though it looks kind of gross, I actually like it. We're gonna do this little guy. We're just gonna wedge him right in here, just like this. I'm gonna put this little rock right here, just like that. And his little roots are gonna go down into here. Take this out. Take my little scooper. And we're just gonna gently put some of this gravel around here, around this. And then for the most part, we're just gonna let this we're gonna let this naturally start to grow and fill in. And then what'll happen is this will end up getting taller and it'll start sending out roots that way, kind of around this way, and we'll end up having kind of a more planted look right here. And this is also one of the overflow areas. So when it rains, you know, the pond water dissipates out here into the yard. So this plant will get a lot of food. We'll take some of this stuff and we'll just kind of set it there for right now. We'll feed those plants. I like feeding all my plants, can you tell? So this big guy is gonna be great for the wetland filter. So we'll go back up there. So I've got this big guy on this side. Maybe I want to offset it by setting something over here. So we grab our plant with root mass. We're just gonna guide this into there. I'm gonna try and get this root mass tucked a little bit underneath the edge of this boulder. This boulder is gonna be what helps keep this in place. All right, so I'm gonna get this just right. Now I have something that I can kind of mold how I want to keep it in place, keep it from moving.
There. And that should be good. This guy should stay exactly where I want it. And given a few days, this thing's gonna solid right up and stay exactly where I want it. It's a little beat up from me harassing it, but it should be fine. That's gonna look good. Kind of balancing from there to there. Pretty happy with that. So now we've got a couple plants that I purchased. Where should we stick these? Corkscrew rush. Let's see. Plain in sun or partial sun? Partial sun, huh? I've got just the spot for this. Here along this edge, I have this little pocket. I've got this little papyrus. There's another name for this, I think umbrella palm, but I've always known it as papyrus. And I like the way it looks growing here, but I think maybe it needs a little something else to grow in this area. And I'm wondering, would this look cool growing right here in this corner to kind of offset that being there? The turtles do like to come and hide in here. This is a popular spot. I did put a couple Florida softshells in here, and the smaller Florida softshell actually likes to come and sit in here. So I think I might plant this here and then let it fill with sand. Or I have this little pocket here. I'm thinking maybe this would look good growing right there in that pocket. So let's do that. So we're gonna take this guy out of here, dig out some of this. Got another elephant ear bulb that did nothing. And we're just gonna put this corkscrew rush in there. I'm actually gonna keep some of these leaves and stuff in here so that as they kind of, you know, fall apart and rot, that they end up being food for this. And then we're gonna take this off and let this rush kind of grow up this, comes with this little like fake bamboo pole. So we're just gonna let this thing kind of be a rush and just let it do what it does and grow in this corner. Again, we're gonna add a little bit of gravel to this to keep it in place. It doesn't take much in this particular spot. I just wanna make sure it stays there. Perfect. So this is actually where the dosing system and all that other stuff sits. But I think I'm gonna actually take some of this, pull this back, and we're gonna put this little bamboo guy right down into here. Yeah, just like that, just wedge it in there. And then I might borrow some of these rocks, kind of set them in there. Try to break that up a little bit. And we'll just let this guy sit here and feed off of the intake bay area and let it kind of spread. And it looks nice right there. I mean, that's a fake rock, but it does look good right there. All right, here, got a Florida softshell hanging out in shallow water. These guys love hanging out near this like loose gravel. This guy's chilling under this log. I think this one may end up being a female, which means I'll have two females, which means I'll have two huge softshells. So as of right now, this one gets to explore all of the aquascape, you know, pond here. And it's rare that I actually see it sitting here, so that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get this one in hand. Come here. Up, up. Woo! There we go. Florida softshell. These guys are really cool. They have that, you know, like all soft shells, that leathery shell. Got a really long neck, little flippers, and just really cool turtles. I love these guys. Such a pretty turtle. The colors when they're babies end up kind of turning to like a brown or like a grayish or even sometimes almost black, but I still think they're awesome. There you go, friends. I'm really happy with how all the plants and everything are starting to come in around the edges, and just, you know, this pond is constantly maturing, constantly just evolving and becoming more and more of an ecosystem, and the turtles love it. You've got here, shooting off the bottom right there. You've got all the little creeping Jenny and all those things coming back. So I think adding some of the plants like what we planted today works really good. And I also wanted to show you some of the plants like this. This is just watercress right here. So this is a plant that you can buy at like an Asian grocery store, and it comes in clumps. And all I did is I just put those clumps right here in this little corner area that collects leaves and muck, and it grows. And the neat thing about it is, you know, you can kind of just put it anywhere
and it'll grow, and you can break off, you know, parts of it and you can eat it. So I'm actually growing my own food using the Aquascape ecosystem pond. So I'm really stoked on that. That was like one of the goals, was to be able to grow things like watercress and things that not only benefit the animals and the habitat, but also that, you know, benefit me a little bit too. Today was just a little bit of a video showing you some of the work and chores that I do when I'm working on these things. Thank you guys for watching this. Appreciate each and every one of you. Tell your friends about my videos. We'll all hang out in the comments, man. So I hope everybody's doing good. Peace. Catch y'all later.